Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, has declared that he will no longer offer advice to the administration of President Bola Tinubu on addressing the country's economic challenges. Sanusi made the statement on Wednesday while speaking as the chairman at the 21st Memorial Lecture of Chief Gani Fawahimi held in Lagos. The former central bank governor said he had initially provided assistance to the government but has decided to withdraw further support, criticizing its handling of economic reforms. I've chosen not to speak about the economy and the reforms or to even explain anything because if I explain, it would help this government and I don't want to help the government, Sanusi said. Sanusi stated that the government should take responsibility for explaining its policies to Nigerians, saying, let them come and explain to Nigerians why the policies that have been pursued have not been pursued. The former emir attributed the current economic challenges to decades of poor management, describing the situation as a necessary consequence of irresponsible governance over time. I'm watching a very nice movie with popcorn in my hands. I'm watching them stew, he remarked. Well, I really don't know if we should laugh over the statement from the Emir of Kano, saying that he will no longer give advice to President Bola Tinubu. But I'd love to get your thoughts. Do you think the Emir advice, if he had actually given one, do you think it would change any scenario that's going on in the country? But I'll also ask you a question before after that. But I want to get your thoughts. If any advice, let's say he decided to prefer advice to his situation he feels is irresponsible, the government, the present government administration, if he feels it is a responsible one, if he gives advice towards it, do you think the advice will prefer solution to it?
Well, I think that the emir, as he is, or as he then was, has always been very controversial. And I'm not in any way surprised by his remark. A good thing about advice is that you offer it freely.
Okay.
And it's up to the one you advise to accept your advice or to modify your advice in terms of implementation. Now, what this means is Sanusi is saying that he's broken ranks with the administration of Bola Tinubu. Of course, you know that perhaps, particularly reference to reform, probably refers clearly to what's playing out when it comes to tax reforms and what appears to be the unwillingness, of Tinubu to bend in response to northern pressure when it comes to tax reforms.
Okay.
So maybe it's part of a realignment that is already going on in some circles, and part of a feeling, on the part of usually outspoken Sanusi that perhaps I don't talk to people who are deaf, So in reference to popcorn, is watching a movie and all that. The difference is that this is a serious movie. Nigeria is just not a film, and events are taking place.
True.
Of course, I am glad that he knows that what we have is a combination of many years of misgovernance in his words. So someone and some group of people are trying to find solutions. It will not be easy to deal with all of those issues, clearly. But our thinking also is that knowing the position he occupies as a traditional ruler, there are certain comments
that should not be made
by him. He's not a down the cliff politician. If he wants to play politics, he should remove the toga of Emir of Kano. And if he wants to offer advice, offer it behind closed doors. The era when traditional rulers were in front are long gone. Even in emirates across the world, There are governments, and you treat government with some level, of respect. For Sanusi to come out in Lagos at a Fahimi event to say that he will no longer offer advice, that if he provides advice, they will succeed.
They will succeed, yes.
So
that's why I
what
asked
he's saying,
do you think if he had actually, yes,
what
given
he's
that
saying
advice,
is that he wants administration to fail. But if this administration fails, all Nigerians have failed. That's the point.
Oh yeah, you Chief, you mentioned of the position he occupies as the Emir and certain words that should not be said in public. In this instance, do you also agree with him that the present administration has actually failed Nigerians? In essence, that he's saying that there are certain things that has not been, policies that has not been favorable to Nigerians. Do you agree with him that in that instance that is really true?
Okay, since we are talking about films, borrowing from the Emir, I many years ago I watched a film, Anzio, and but one thing struck me about Anzio, the catchword or catchphrase: there are many roads to Rome. So what this means is that there's not one route to finding solutions to the Nigerian problem. Many people are tinkering with it.
Okay.
Many people are thinking outside the box. Many people are willing to salvage a country that needs to be put on a trajectory of growth and development. And for me, nobody. Because even if we were to look around and Sanusi does not exist, Nigeria will still live. Nigeria will still move on.
Okay.
And it will move on in accordance with the wise counsel it is getting from those Nigerians that are willing to dedicate themselves to its emancipation.
Okay.
So, well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that people come to the conclusion that they are, I don't want to use the word larger than life, but that they are so knowledgeable that the knowledge of other people doesn't really matter. I think that would be disastrous. It's not something that should be encouraged. With due respect to him.